Well, as you can see, I'm going to make this one really quick. This is not going to be a long movie review at all, to any description at all. In fact, even though I love giving you guys trivia, I'm actually going to completely leave it out of this movie review, and I'm actually going to start with the bad stuff about this movie first, guys, and then I'm going to go into what I liked about this movie. No way, shape, or form am I kidding at all, guys, and this is so unbelievably unfortunate, and it really is. But in this movie, guys, called Happiest Season, the second that Alison Brie, who plays the character of Sloane, her character alongside her husband, who is played by, I think you pronounce it Burl mostly, and he plays the character of Eric, and their two children, Magnus and Matilda. The second that those characters come into this movie, literally this movie drops the ball. It's not funny anymore. The quirks are totally out the window, and just the character chemistry completely dissolves. Completely dissolves. I was not a fan of this movie at all, guys. Now, unfortunately, that happens when they come into this movie, whereas the first act of this movie is actually really funny. It's actually really funny, and obviously, guys, I've taken notes, so here are my notes on the first act. There's a break-in scene at the start of the film when they're going to look at the Christmas lights. That scene is actually really funny, and what I mean by break-in scene, the two girls are actually on the roof, and when they're coming up, one of them falls off the roof, and just the way that happens is actually really funny. So Abby, who is played by Kirsten Stewart in this movie, is actually in every way, shape, or form not funny whatsoever, although she has little subtle one-liners in this movie, and that's probably the elements of this movie really that steal the show for her. Other than that, it's an abomination. We also have Mackenzie Davis, who plays the character of Harper. Now, her role in this movie, again, the character chemistry is absolutely appalling. It's terrible. But I bought her in this movie more than any other character. But specifically, speaking of character, and I thought he was the only glue to this entire movie, and which is so bad to say because he has actually, unfortunately, the smallest role in this movie completely out of everyone else in this movie, and that is Dan Levy, who plays the character of John. Literally, guys, he is the glue to this movie. He is the funniest character in this movie. Every scene in this movie he's in, he's really funny. But again, like I said, it is so bad. It doesn't work. This movie doesn't work. A line that he says in this movie when he's in the cafe, where John is in the cafe with Abby, he actually says if NSA can do it, then tracking someone on their phone, then he can do it. That line is really funny. I really cracked up at that line. It was really good. And I just thought, just the way he delivered it, just his mannerisms was really well done. When Harper enters her parents' house, her mother says to her, she's saying how beautiful she is, and then she looks closer at her face and she said, "Did you bring concealant?" And that, again, that line was actually really funny. I found a lot of humor in that. Like I said at the beginning of this movie, guys, it has a lot of funny one-liners, but unfortunately, all those one-liners were literally like that. Like, seriously, such an unfortunate element, but it is what it is. And last but not least, the funniest part of this movie was actually when they're at the dining table and they give Abby the smallest chair. Those of you who've seen the movie know exactly what I'm talking about, and those of you who haven't seen the movie, when you see it, the dining chair, that was pretty funny. Other than that, guys, like I said at the start of this review, seriously, the second that the sister and the husband and the two kids come into this movie just is abomination. Now, I just wanted to post this comment right here. This is a friend of mine on TikTok, and this is what she actually had to say about this movie. So she fell asleep in this movie. Her friend had to wake her up, guys. Guys, literally the last 15 minutes of this movie, I blinked and I was asleep. No word of a lie at all. I didn't even realize I wasn't even tired at all. Seriously, it just dragged. It was abomination. I'm not impressed with this movie at all. Does this movie have in its core element, essential thing in its DNA, to be rewatched? And I like to call, in my personal opinion, guys, those who've been following me for any period of time, rewatchability. In no way, shape or form. I would never, ever rewatch this movie. Don't go see this movie, guys. Unfortunately, this movie is a flop, in my personal opinion. I was not impressed at all in any way, shape or form, and I seriously hope that you value my opinion. All film is subjective, guys. I appreciate you being here. Don't forget, guys, who's bringing this movie review for Happiest season. This is Superman Steve, guys. Appreciating you guys always. Until my next review, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and leave a thumbs up if you appreciate my review and value my opinion, because I value you guys being here. You guys are amazing. This is Superman Steve. Appreciating you guys always. Flying out.